Morning, everybody. Welcome to Walnut Lodge, Walnut location. This is the 8:30 Saturday morning flow, and I've been working a specific series for the whole time. For those of you that are just joining me today, and I'm going to switch into into kind of a little bit of a different mode today. I'm going to kind of incorporate some of my therapeutic work into what we're doing. So it's going to be a little different. It's not going to be a straight line flow. It's kind of just an experiment. And then also, I think that for those of you that have been to my therapeutic class, what you'll see is kind of where the ideas for the therapeutic class came from and how they can be incorporated into the series that we're doing. Alright, so usually in a therapeutic class, we start with a rocking breath. So we're going to do that today. It's not unlike, how we start out this other class with either the cats or with the work on the block. So this will be work on the block. Alright, so we're going to need a strap, at least one block, possibly two blocks, and maybe a bolster or a pillow of some sort. Alright, so I'm going to tie our legs together. And then just lay down on your spine. So we tie the legs together just so that we can figure out how to let go of the outer thigh. You don't really have to figure out much, you just let it go. And then for people like me, if I didn't have that strap on, my legs would just pop out to the sides. Alright, so just kind of get a nice read on your back. Your heels are the same width as your sit bones. And we're going to just begin to focus on our breathing. Nice big inhales into the belly. Just a very relaxed diaphragmatic breath. Let the belly go. Nothing special here except try to make your inhale and your exhale about the same amount of time with no pauses on either side of that. So no pause after the inhale or the exhale, just going back and forth. Now really start to make that breath bigger and feel that lower abdominal wall push towards your thighs on the inhale and then settle back down on the exhale. Now add to this, after the end of that exhale, use the lower stomach to push the rest of the air out. So you'll feel that contraction in the lower gut, pulling that abdominal wall towards your back, and then you feel your lower back going into the ground. And then release that, and then let the belly push towards the thighs. Let's just do a couple of these here. Really feel the release at both ends of the inhale and the exhale. So big inhale, belly is pushing, and then release that. That starts the beginning of the exhale, which is passive. And then use that abdominal wall to push the rest of the air out, which is active, getting a huge exchange of air. And then release that, and then the breath will automatically pull in, and then finish it by adding a little bit more inhale to it. So we're looking for the ends of the breath, where after that active push of the belly for the exhale, you have this automatic beginning of the inhale, and at the very top of that inhale you have this release that is the beginning of the exhale, which you just allow to happen, and then push the air out at the end. And then you'll notice that your pelvis is rocking back and forth, pushing forward on the inhale, and then pulling back and then into the ground on the exhale. So keep doing this, allowing the pelvis to rock, taking as much air in and pushing as much air out as you can. Keep going, and then just notice, the parallels here with the small cats. The cats are more active, but the pelvis is kind of doing the same thing. And if you really feel a lot of abdominal activity on that exhale, really push that air out. then the inhale becomes passive until the very end. And this is the mechanism that we're trying to get in the cats and also in the breathing exercise with the hands behind the head. So if you can, just finish this out using the Ujjayi breath. So that's closing off the back of your throat a little bit just to restrict the airway so that the flow can be controlled a little bit more. You know, and we talked about using that, or the sipping breath was just making the lips into an O, like you're going to sip a straw, and that reduces the amount of air that can come in also just by restricting the airway. But you're doing it with your lips instead of your throat. So just try a couple of those. Ujjayi or sipping breath. Just a couple more. And then release that. Pull your heels in as close as you can. And then drop both knees to the right. Whoops. All the way to the side. So my shoulders way up. Your legs are tied together. So for those of you that have tight IT bands, you feel that. You feel that line going all the way from the knee through the hip to the back. Now once you've settled into this twist, you're going to try to resume that rocking breath, which means inhale, push the pelvis towards your thighs, but then take that breath all the way up into that left armpit, and then exhale, just release the shoulder, the rib, the waist, keeping the outside of that right leg on the ground. So that inhale is going to pull you up on your side, and then the exhale is going to release you back into the twist a little bit more. Now on that next inhale, you're going to let your arm just rotate kind of with the pull of the tissue so that it goes over the ear, and then you're going to just let it reach forward. as far as you can. This is very similar to the big twist that we learned. But then up and over and let that drop. And then continue this circle. So a lot of similarities here. Except we're not working that diagonal line. We're just really trying to release the arm. We're trying to release the spine. And one of the points, the purposes of this warm-up is to just put you into a very relaxed state. That rocking breath is very, very effective in getting you into a relaxed state. A couple more with the arm. Just kind of letting it. Mainly I'm doing this so that those of you that have been with me throughout this summer intensive, or not intensive, but Saturday morning, you can see the relationships between the series. The intent in the postures is a little different, but the base are the same. The bases are the same. The next time that arm goes open to that T position, just stay there. Let that strap hold that top leg. And then roll yourself back to center. Just take a second to check out the drop on that left side. Creep the heels in again. And drop to the left. Settle into that twist. And then inhale, push the pelvis up and towards the thighs. Take that breath all the way up into that right armpit and then release that down. Keep going. Inhaling, pushing the pelvis forward and up. Exhaling, releasing shoulder, rib cage, waist. Really try to take that breath high into the ribs and armpits so that you feel your ribs expanding on that inhale. One more just plain. This time let the arm go. Let the arm pull over the ear. Reach it forward, let it go forward past the hands, circle it down, let it go up and over the hip, drop it down, and continue the circle. Stay as relaxed as you can, let that joint go deep, no energy. You're just kind of pulling it with your shoulder blade. relax as possible. And then when this arm goes up and over and lands in that T position, just stay there, breathing into that twist. And then roll back center. Couple breaths right here. And then grab one of your blocks. Great. So we're going to put it under our pelvis on the low position. So there's a lot of blocks in the other class too. And today I would have started out with a block underneath the waist first though, and then worked the chest. So the difference really is in this therapeutic series, we're going to work the spine by working the pelvis and the breath, instead of the chest and the breath. That's a little bit more subtle, and it's more relaxing, really. So we put our sacrum on the block. The top edge of the block hits the lumbar sacral junction. You just feel the whole triangular wedge of the sacrum on the block. And then we start that rocking breath. Inhale, push your pelvis towards your thighs. And then exhale, release. And then press all the air out by pulling that belly down into your back. Inhale, the pelvis goes towards the thighs. And then exhale. So keep going. We're rocking the pelvis on that block. Using the inhale and the exhale. Really feel the sit bones tucking under and going up to the knees on the inhale, getting as much motion as you can. So one of our first movements on the back in the other series is, these hip circles, going side, side, and then up and down, right? And here we're just using the block to hold the pelvis in this extended position, as we work the flexion and then the extension of the pelvis. There's no side, but the reason why I wanted to do this today is because I've been wanting to combine the two block series, and we're going to do that. So this will be a first. A couple more of these. last one. On the exhale, keep your pelvis and then pull the knees in. So the block is holding you at that lumbar sacral junction. So then the low back can drop towards the ground and get that stretch. And now we're going to take the knees and start circling them. Making an oval shape. And once you have that shape going, then shift your attention to how your pelvis is rolling around on that block. So this now is very similar in the pelvis to that rolling that we do. Except the muscles that are doing it are not the legs and the glutes. We've shifted completely to core and inner thigh and hip flexor. So as you feel the body roll on that block, you feel that edge as the knees come towards you. You roll as far to the side as you can. You go away. You keep that stomach engaged. And you get that lovely massage on that low back. Now when your knees return to that center position, just change to the other side. To the other direction, rather. Feel the knees make that oval. Release the inner thighs. And then feel the circle of those femur heads in the acetabulums. Just rolling around. It feels good. Just a couple more. And when the knees come to the center, just let them be there. Couple breaths. All right, now hold your stomach. Pull your pubic bone towards your chest. Feel that low back press on the ground. And then let the knees just come right over the sockets, maybe a little bit past. And then feel the work in that lower abdominal area, right? Keep trying to tuck the pelvis. So that means posterior tilt, pushing the top edge of the pelvis towards the block. You should really feel that strongly pushing. Now we're just going to take our legs until our belly starts shaking. So meaning that it's kind of the edge of what we can hold. And you're going to let your legs dangle. They're not going to be on the floor. You're going to keep them bent. Keep pulling. And we're just going to wake that stomach up a little bit more. Breathe. Keep pulling. Pubic bone to your rib cage. We're holding this for a minute. Our feet are not on the ground. We're already 30 seconds in. Ten seconds to go. And then feet down on the ground and relax. Breathe into your belly. All right, now from here we're going to go onto the side. So for people that know my therapeutic series, this is a different series, right? So we're going to go right onto the side. So I put my knee down. You want to be right at the front of that block. You can see it right here, kind of. It's in the dark, really. And then my trochanter on my left side is right below the edge. And then once I get that, I'm going to straighten my legs. And we're on the low position. Stretch your left arm out in front, and then put your right hand just flat on the ground. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rock. So you have that edge of the block right above the trochanter, and then it's going to dig into that line all the way into the glute. And we're just going to rock it back and forth with our hand. So the idea here is that we're as relaxed as we can be, and you're not moving your body with your body. You're just trying to use the arm so that your body can just stay in one piece in this relaxed position. And you can go as far forward and back as you can without falling off that block. And then if you feel any places that are a little, like I feel a little sticky back here, maybe I'll just give it a little bit more of a wiggle, and then I'll come back forward. One more, and then put your left knee down on the ground to anchor. You can bend both if you want, or keep one straight. So that left knee is going to stay on the ground. So what we're doing here is, we have a stretch going on here, and then that block is massaging that left glute. We're going to stretch our right arm up, and we're going to just take our torso into a twist to the back. So, inhale up and reach it to the back just like the series that we've been working. Gotta find a name for that. Now, if you want, you can flex your hand, find that line. Usually I don't do that here because I'm just really focusing on the pelvis. And then I'm really feeling this top hip into the low back stretch. Right, now, you're going to modulate this or govern it or control it with your foot. You're going to start rolling your right shoulder to the ground. I'm putting my right foot down. That's going to be my control. My knee comes up. The edge of that block is digging into my glute. And then I'm going to slowly, using the foot, my right foot, I'm going to ease my right hip down to the ground. And then move the block. And then just let that, whoa, hip go. That's kind of crazy. So I got a huge release in that left side. And now we're going to go to the right side. Now since I'm off the block, I'm going to do the I'm going to use the method that I usually tell everybody to use when we're just doing the side series. So you're going to come up onto that block with your hip. The front of your hip is going to be level with the edge. Your trochanter on the lower leg is going to be right on the other side of that block. And then lay your shoulder down. Left hand is down. Of course, you can't see it. But there'll be other things to see. And then we're just going to rock it back and forth. Feels good. Alright, put that right knee down. Anchor yourself. Take that left arm up. Twist. Just keep breathing up. putting that left foot down, slowly roll that left shoulder down. Right knee comes up. And then slowly, slowly let that left hip come down. Move the block and roll center. Really feels super open through the pelvis, combining the two. So we might have just witnessed, the birth of a new series. But this is how these things go. And I know that you saw the big connection between what we just did and the big twist that we do in the other series. This is more positional, and the other series is more energetic line. So that's the difference. And then this allows you to kind of release different things if you don't have that whole line if you don't have your whole line open. You can stay on that block, release different things, and kind of work that. All right, now we're going to get to the second position on the block. So I'm just going to go from here. So it was, the first position was the top edge at the lumbar sacral junction, and then we move it so that the bottom edge is at that lumbar sacral junction. So now my pelvis is on the far side and my shoulders are on the other side. All right, so now what we do, I'm just going to hang here for a second. Now usually, the block, when I use the block for my other series, I start that block a little higher even than this. I put that edge at the waist, really. All right, so inhale, push your pelvis towards your feet. And then exhale, release that, tuck your tailbone under, and push the pelvis up. So just the top edge of your back is hitting the block. So my whole pelvis is off the block. That's the exhale. So we release it, inhale, push your pelvis towards your thighs. Sit bones will get closer to the floor. Maybe they'll touch, maybe not. Back arches, release that. You'll automatically slide back, and then exhale, tuck, and push the pelvis up. Keep going. Inhale, and exhale. Rocking breath. Just seesaw your back over that block. But make sure you really tuck under in this position. You have to take that big curve out that allows you to do this. It's kind of cool how your torso just automatically pulls you back onto your shoulders. Couple more. Alright, next time you get to this position, pull your pubic bone, and then we're going to pick our legs up and pull them towards our chest. And feel that stretch in that low back. So that edge isn't at the junction now, it's just kind of, mine's right above my waist. So we're getting a thoracic stretch instead of a lumbar stretch. But still pull the knees and feel that section of your back stretch from where the block is hitting down towards the ground. And then straighten your legs. And then we're going to start circles of the legs. And it'll feel like an oval, and you're going to spend a minute or so just feeling the circling of the legs. Don't make it too big. And then shift your attention to how that back is rolling around on that block. And then feel the circle of each femur head in the hip sockets. You know, they're acting together, but they're really working by themselves. Try to get a sense of that. Circles within circles. And then reverse that. Next time your legs hit that center position, just let them stay there. And then bend the knees. Hold on to your pubic bone. We're going to do that slow lower. Alright? Keep pulling your pubic bone towards your face to counteract the weight of the legs. Alright, now we're going to go over and hold our legs out, right? Keep tucking under. That's the big thing. Pull. "15 seconds to go." And slowly feet down and release. Feel that release. Breathe into your belly. All right, now moving to the side position here. Roll to your left side. Now we're almost actually there. Yeah, because it's the same position on the back. So you're going to dig that edge right into your hip crest. Knees are bent. You're way at the front of that. And then you're going to lay down. And let that block just kind of dig up into that space. So when you inhale, take the ribs and push them to the ceiling. And then just trying to settle down on that block like a cat laying over an object. That is what you're doing. You're just relaxing over this rectangle. All right. Now we're going to twist. So, push that right elbow up. And we just inhale. And then exhale. Try to go a half an inch. That's all. Inhale. Exhale. Piece by piece. Inhale. Once your chest gets almost towards the ceiling, let that arm go open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Now here you really feel the extension of the upper back, just like that big twist. The left side of the ribs are being helped into the twist by the block. Gravity is just pulling that right shoulder down for you. Now we're going to put that right foot down and use it to control the roll. Slowly, the knees are going to lift. And you're going to let that right shoulder come down to the ground. And then roll, move the block, and just breathe there. It's a very weird feeling. Super deep. All right, other side. Put your hip right up against that block, edge of the block, flush, actually in front of your hip. Stretch that right arm forward. And then just lay on that block edge. Breathe. Rib cage up to the ceiling. And then just relax the ribs. All right, now for the twist. Stretch the elbow up. Remember, it's always kind of stunning. You think you're never going to get there because it's just, you don't know how to get there and it seems too painful. But just go inhale up an inch and then exhale, twist. Inhale, push. Up an inch with the breath, exhale, let yourself go. Up, release. Left foot down, slowly, left shoulder down, and then let that left hip go down. And remove the block. Breathe. All right. Last part, right? So now just start. Take that edge of the block. Sit bones down. Chest goes over. The edge of the block is kind of above the waist. So this is where we would be after the seesaw. We just reach our sit bones to the ground. And now we're going to start the rocking breath here. Inhale, pelvis towards your thighs. Exhale. You can't get your back down. You can try, your head will come up. And then you can also lift your sit bones a little bit, like not even off the ground, just de-weight them and push them towards your heels. Yeah, so keep going. Inhale, pelvis towards your thighs. Exhale, sit bones towards your heels. Couple more right here. And then with your sit bones reach, wiggle down. So now the top edge is right at the base of my shoulder blades. Same thing. Inhale, pelvis towards your thighs. Exhale, trying to get the waist on the ground. Pelvis towards the thighs on the inhale. Pelvis down. Sit bones are reaching towards the heels. One more. Scoot down. The shoulder blades are on the block. Legs can go straight if you want, or you can keep them bent. Same thing. My hamstring is cramping. I don't understand that. All right, inhale, pelvis towards the thighs. Exhale, waist towards the ground. I can almost get my sacrum down. Feel that mid-back stretch. Okay, one more. Now we're going to roll onto our left side. And the block is actually exactly where it needs to be. And then So in terms of its position on the spine. Now, as you roll to the side, you want that edge to hit you kind of in the middle of your rib cage. So it's pretty far forward. And we're going to do the same thing. Our knees are bent. Hand is down. And now we're digging that flush edge, the face edge of the block. That edge of that just up and into the side of our ribs. Chest is going in front of it. And mine is pretty sore. Because right now what we're doing is we're rolling over the lat muscle and the trap. Let it be as relaxed as possible. Alright, now adding big arm circles. So take that right hand, let it slide over that left hand, and then push it up towards your face. Let it go over the ear. Roll it to the back. You'll roll onto your shoulder blade, circle it, and then take it up and over, just like how we started with that rocking breath. Same thing. But now as we go, that block is digging into our left side of our back, digging into that shoulder blade. Use the arm as the impetus to change position. The arm pulls you back into that twist, and then as you squeeze the upper arm into your chest, it pulls you back to forward. Alright, last one. Next time you get into that twist, you just stay there. Breathe. And let that right shoulder roll down. Move the block. Roll the back down. A couple breaths right here. So what I'm really noticing too is there's so much work deep in the abdominal cavity, deep in the chest. You know, the blocks really allow you to kind of bypass the exterior muscles, and just because of the position of it, you can change the relationship of the bones to each other, and then just relax into that. And then what happens there is you get all of this really deep release that you won't get if you're just moving your arms and legs. course, the twist happens, but because your focus is on pushing the line, the energy line of the muscle, you don't really get deep like that. All right, other side. So you have to come up. Put that block right underneath your armpit. Chest is, the edge is in the middle of the rib cage, so the chest can go forward of it. And then just drop. Right arm is forward. Left hand is flat. And we're just letting it dig into that space. Left hand on top of the right. Push, big circle. Feel yourself roll over that right shoulder blade. And keep going. Remember, use the arm to make the changes. The arm is just going to pull you onto your back, and then the arm is going to pull you back to your side and forward. One more. Just lay in that twist. And then slowly roll that left shoulder down. Move the block. Lay flat on your back. Breathe. belly breaths. And then feel the ribs go to the sides as you inhale, and then back into the yoga mat. So I'm going side and then pushing my ribs into the floor, and then feeling the ribs go to the ceiling. So a real big 360 breath, sideways, front and back, up and down. All right, slowly roll to your right side and press yourself up to sitting. We're just going to snake our back, so pull the pelvis back and then push it forward with the breath. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Just a couple more. One more. All right, everybody. That's it for today. You have just participated in a new series. I hope it worked for you as well as it has worked for me. So I know it takes a long time. That was an hour and 20 minutes of rolling around on that block, but it's pretty good. All right, thank you for being here. Namaste and enjoy the beautiful day.